Imagine playing the highest stakes match of your life, surviving this devastating VAR reversal, losing your star forward to a red card.
And just being completely suffocated on your own half.
Exactly. And all of this before the 80th minute even hits.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It really is. So welcome to today's deep dive. We are unpacking the BPC Media recap of the USA versus Bosnia and Herzegovina 2026 World Cup Round of 32 match. And for you listening, this isn't just a sports summary. It's a masterclass in how a team takes absolute tactical chaos and, well, forges a strategy for survival.
Right, but I think what's crucial to understand here is that the chaos wasn't there from the opening whistle. I mean, USA manager Mauricio Pochettino started with this very rigid tactical design.
Heavy territorial possession, right?
Exactly. But they ran straight into a strict Bosnian defensive block. Basically, Bosnia just parked their players tightly around their own penalty area.
Led by veteran Edin Dzeko, yeah.
Right, and they were deliberately choking off every single passing lane.
Which is just exhausting to play against. But the U.S. finally breaks through in the 31st minute. Folarin Balogun gets free, he scores, and he actually busts out the LeBron James celebration.
The stadium goes absolutely crazy.
Totally. But then VAR steps in, and he's ruled offside by just a microscopic millimeter. It's honestly like scratching off a winning lottery ticket, jumping up and down, and then realizing the serial number has a typo.
That is exactly what it felt like. But, unlike a ruined lottery ticket, a football team still has to play another 60 minutes after that emotional crash.
How do you even bounce back from that?
Well, the U.S. absorbed that psychological blow by basically doubling down. They held the ball 69% of the time.
Wow, 69%.
Yeah, and it wasn't just about keeping the ball away from Bosnia. It was about physically draining that low-block defense. When you force defenders to shift and chase the ball relentlessly, mental fatigue just sets in.
Which directly leads to the breakthrough right at the 45th minute. That fatigue forces a stray Bosnian pass. Malik Tillman intercepts it, and Balogun just uses his core strength to outmuscle two defenders.
And scores legally this time.
Right, so they go into the half up 1-0.
But here's the thing. A heavy possession strategy relies entirely on having 11 men to stretch the field. And when the 61st minute arrived, that entire game plan just evaporated.
Right, because Balogun tracks back for a routine challenge. He slips on the wet grass and inadvertently clatters into Tark Maharmovic.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate.
It was. But VAR reviews it and hands down a straight red card. Balogun leaves in tears. And honestly, I have to push back on this officiating a bit. Doesn't this expose a huge flaw in how we use VAR?
How do you mean?
Well, if you take a player accidentally losing their footing and you watch it in extreme slow motion, doesn't it artificially manufacture malicious intent that just wasn't there in real time?
Oh, absolutely. It highlights a massive problem with how the human brain processes video. When you watch a slig at 1/10 speed, your brain stops processing it as gravity and momentum.
Right, because you don't see the actual speed of the slip.
Exactly. It perceives the impact as a deliberate, calculated action. The referee completely loses the real-time physics of the play.
That is so frustrating.
It is. But regardless of intent, the U.S. is suddenly down a man, and Bosnia immediately exploits this. They start using horizontal overloads.
Meaning they flooded one side of the pitch with attackers, which forces the U.S. defense to shift over.
Right, which naturally leaves these massive vulnerable gaps everywhere else. To survive, American fullbacks Serginho Dest and Antonee Robinson had to completely abandon their trademark offensive runs up the field.
They just had to defend deep. It's like taking the two engines off the wings of an airplane and strapping them to the landing gear. You're no longer trying to fly fast, you're just bracing for the landing.
That's a great way to put it. Embrace they did. Pinned deep in their own half, tactical structure just wasn't going to save them anymore.
They needed individual brilliance.
Exactly. Which brings us to the 81st minute.
Right. Dest makes this heroic solo run from deep in his own territory and draws a foul 20 yards out. Enter Malik Tillman.
The pressure on him must have been insane.
Right. I mean, put yourself in his shoes for a second. You're 20 yards out. Your team is fighting for its life down a man. The Bosnian players are swarming you, trying to delay the restart, playing psychological games. How do you tune that out?
It takes immense mental conditioning. He approached the highest pressure dead ball of his life with the absolute calm of like a Tuesday morning training ground drill.
Unbelievable.
He bypassed the noise, the defensive wall, and a fully extended keeper. He just curled a perfect, violently dipping free kick right into the top right corner.
A total two-Nero dagger.
You know?
And the psychological contrast at the end is just amazing.
Yeah.
Manager Pochettino's on the touchline literally singing "Take Me Home, Country Roads."
While Weston McKennie is acting as a conductor for the singing crowd, it was wild.
Such a historic victory. I mean, surviving those final 30 minutes with 10 men secured their ticket to the round of 16.
Yeah, and it proved they can win an incredibly gritty tournament match.
Which leaves you with something to chew on as we wrap up this deep dive. We started by looking at structured tactics versus chaos.
Right.
It makes you wonder, does surviving a traumatic, grueling crisis, like playing 30 minutes down a man, actually forge a more dangerous tournament team than one that just coasts through with an easy, comfortable victory?
That is a really great question.
Something for you to think about next time you see a team push the absolute brink.